It's Podcast Friday. The guys are here. The guys are here. Mkonza, Dokotela, Mnandi. Ukran boy?
Ngushukela uyangazi awuthiyami.
Former Kaizer Chiefs, Bafana defender, Spiwe Mkonza. I'm being respectful, Mkonza.
Please awuthiyami. And the bet koni awutheka igama mfethu bathi matches.
Ubani matches?
Bathi Andile matches Ncube.
I don't like that one. That one doesn't say Ncube.
Lightning. Mawuthi ke wona uphula amabonda ndoda. Yeah.
Right, of course, the latest, what he's doing is the Dr. Mnandi Academy is what you can look up and get involved in the Dr. Mnandi Academy and make sure that your kids get the right grounding. And next to him is a man that you look forward to every Friday. You hated him, you loved him, you hate him sometimes, but most of the time you love him, but no, you really do hate him. Nadim Lukhele is here with us as well. Nadim?
Yeah, thanks, Andy. It's good to be here and sing Mark Haskins.
Well, tell us about Mark Haskins.
I remember, I grew up supporting Morocco Swallows, actually.
Yeah?
Remember when Chokonia, Ncube, and all those guys were playing for Morocco Swallows?
Yeah, the Lightning days.
Yeah, so it was, you didn't support Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates because the rival was just too much. You needed to support a team like Swallows that was always fighting to be in the top 8.
Safe.
Yeah, so that was it. So Mark was playing there when Gavin Hunt did so well, when Gavin was coming from
How do you say his surname?
Mark Haskins.
Haskins.
Yeah?
Haskins.
Okay, they've said it. So Mark is here as well. SABC sports analyst, former Cosmos, former Vets, former Swallows player. He's going to be joining us. Mark, it's great to have you here. We look forward to your input, man. Welcome.
Thanks, man. It's great to be a part of this esteemed panel. So looking forward to it. I've listened to the show countless times and yeah, really excited to be here today.
Well, guys, let's get straight into it. There's a lot of news making headlines from the week that was. And, of course, the games that are coming up this weekend as well. We've been starved of PSL football. So I'd love to hear your thoughts as to what the break did for the different teams in the games that you're going to be previewing. But here's the first one that we can start with. Gaston Sirino. We haven't seen the jersey number 10 out at World Cup. We do see him on social media. We do see him. We know he's out and about. You heard what Pito had to say. So there is an offer that Pito says he put. Pito said it himself. And he was told there's no price for it. But seemingly, Gaston says he's not going back to Sundowns. Have a listen first to set up the story.
Yeah, but Sirino doesn't have a price. So how you buy a player without a price? So where you start? Because I don't want to go into the same setup where I advised unluckily that we should get Sirino. And we approached Sundowns straight to the office. And he didn't have a price. He still doesn't have a price. So we don't buy players that don't have a price. And there's no negotiation. If Sirino has a price, yes, you can talk.
Seemingly, Pito still wants Sirino. There must be something in there. My understanding is the coach and the player also, have a relationship that the player would like to continue. But once a player wants out, Mkonza.
Yeah. When a player has a transfer request, Andile, it says a lot in terms of maybe he has reached the ceiling, feels good. Sundowns is no longer challenging him. Last season didn't play much, 20 games, 1 goal, 5 assists. It tells you good. Sirino when people.
How many games?
20 matches and 1 goal, 5 assists for a number 10 at Sundowns.
Sure.
So there was a bit of struggle. So Sirino wants out, he feels good. He needs a different challenge, a different environment. Kude interest nyana lapha kuKhosi nyana Andile wathi.
Oh really?
Sivulwa amehlo ukuthi kumiwe kancane ukuthi mhlawumbe uSirino singamuthi hluphu kancane.
Are you being serious?
Mamela ngiyakutshela.
Kaizer Chiefs have an interest.
Yeah, isho yimi, I sure anybody, sure yimi.
No, for sure. Wula.
Yeah, so babheke ngamehlo Khosi lapha ukuthi maybe ingwenye ngawela ngapha kuQuantum.
But Mark, I listened to that and repeat those stats again for me again. 20 games,
20 matches, 1 goal, 5 assists.
Why then is he? I mean, we know he's a good player, but I listened to those stats and I'm like, why is Sundowns holding on to that?
Yeah, obviously it's what he's done in the past. And Sundowns have never been a selling club. Sundowns have never been a club that, releases players. And, for a lot of players who go to Sundowns or who don't go to Sundowns or choose not to go to Sundowns, that would be their major apprehension because they generally won't send players on. And if you have ambitions of going abroad, going to Europe, whatever the case may be, is Sundowns the place to go? We know that they aren't really that much of a selling club. So, it's their history tells us that they're not just going to let players go.
Nadim?
I have to disagree with Mark for saying Sundowns are not a selling club. They sold Pesitao, they've sold Kick and Dolly, they sold a lot of players basically. As long as there's a proper offer, concrete offer from an abroad team. With Pitso Msimane, we know the story between Sundowns and Pitso. So it could be if Kaizer Chiefs come strongly, they can get him. Sirino is one of those players you can't really identify him with statistics. Some players you are not going to look at the goals or contribution and assist. The role that he plays in the team is one of those players you need to have. If Kaizer Chiefs can have him, I think he can improve Kaizer Chiefs. I don't know if Kaizer Chiefs will buy him because they're not really buying a player where where they put a serious offer, a contract offer. They usually wait for a contract to end. Then once the contract offer, they rather pay you straightforward. So I'm doubtful that it can go.
I think about creative players that have left Sundowns to go to Chiefs.
Yeah.
Karma. I mean, fine, Keegan didn't come directly from Sundowns.
Yeah.
I got Castro up front as well. It hasn't been a good turnover for those players at Chiefs.
And I've said it.
There's Castro also, Kama Billiet,
Yeah.
and even
Keegan didn't go straight.
Even Katlehong
Pela as well.
I think lasted 6 months.
Where did Tori Alba begin on? It's the other way around.
Sundowns.
You might
So
say
Tori
did well
Alba
at
is
Kaizer
one
Chiefs.
that did well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can say he did
not-
well.
yeah.
Even Ramashon Patel didn't have a bad season at Kaizer Chiefs.
Ramashon Patlele
Yeah,
as
the
well.
former captain.
But I mean, hence I said creative players. More creative. I mean, when you look at the exchange of Sundowns and players that have left the one, I don't know whether it's the football played here and the style played here doesn't gel, but there hasn't been a high rate of success of that swap.
I think that's one of the problems in South African football because clubs need to set their identity and sign players that fit their identity. Do we just sign the best player at the moment, the best available player at the moment? Do we consider that does he fit into our system? Does he fit into the scheme? With the teammates that he has, how is he going to gel?
Yeah.
I don't think we always do that, and that's so important. That
So
has to
then
be a consideration.
Sereno Chiefs for you, does that fit? With the current squad as you see it?
Not necessarily, because Chiefs right now, if you look at what they're doing, look at the game they played against Sundowns. Do you see Sereno sitting deep, in a low block? You'll get frustrated because, that's Chiefs. I admire what they did against Sundowns. I think they did it fantastically because
Almost pulled it off.
I'm a purist because I still love the art of defending, and I think they were great on the day. Unfortunately, they let their goal slip at the end, but they contained Sundowns for the better part of that game. How does Sereno fit into that?
And
If they were to adopt that kind of tactic.
Also, as a Kaizer Chiefs, you need to dominate matches. The low block, it's not true the identity of Kaizer Chiefs. So the fact that they played low block, you're speaking about Sereno, that meant Sereno will be defending too deep. You won't see the best of Sereno, the influence of Sereno. So I think for Mina Andile, if Chiefs find their way in terms of their identity, Sereno can fit Kaizer Chiefs. But as long as Manjabasa Sisegu evolution phase, it's going to be difficult.
And that's why it's so important to hear from Opta Jabu a little bit later, because he's going to give us the stats of Kaizer Chiefs this season.
Yeah.
And when you look at Kaizer Chiefs this season, I think it speaks a lot more to the tactics they've adopted, which are more defensive than even what they were doing against Arthur. But we'll get to Opta Jabu in a bit. He'll give you those stats. Alarming. Nadim, your last one on this. Sereno at Chiefs.
I honestly think he's a quality player. Kaizer Chiefs need him. Obviously, they need to change a coach. The Kaizer Chiefs is the biggest club in South Africa. They cannot play defensive football like that. Kaizer Chiefs, because that's usually you see when a small team who doesn't have the kind of players to match the opposition players. You will think Chiefs, after signing 9 players now, they can match any team in the PSL. They cannot continue even playing against Stellenbosch or Chippa United, where you see Chippa United having more ball possession than Kaizer Chiefs. It needs to change. And with that kind of strategy, I hear Mark said he admired it, but I honestly think it's difficult to win a lot of matches if you play like that because they're always defending. If you can concede, then now we're under pressure. Just like TS Galaxy, they failed dismally. TS Galaxy then went on to lose the next 2 matches. But against Chiefs, you will think TS Galaxy is the best team in the PSL because of how Chiefs are playing. It's so negative, it can't work. Sometimes had to score at one point in time because they were creating so many plenty of chances. I honestly feel they need to change their system. It's not going to work where Chiefs sit down. It's never been like that. Chiefs always are a team that dominates matches. That's why they have more supporters, because of the attractive football. We cannot say Chiefs will like it now that they sit back. They are not Stoke City or they're not the defensive team.
You know what I've said? I've said it over and over and again. I want to see a winning Chiefs because a winning Chiefs changes the temperature of the PSL
Of
and
South African
of
football.
South African football.
Certainly.
It definitely, whether we like it or not, this team, if they were winning the league, winning the Cups, it will be a different atmosphere in all of South African football.
True.
But the time is up for that story, guys. We need to move on to the next one. And hey, it's still Kaizer Chiefs because we did hear from the coach at Kaizer Chiefs, Mule Finteki, over the week, as the break was on, confirming that they are profiling Usbong Senim Tetwa and they still need a defender and a midfielder. Have a listen to this.
But as for a specific player for now, yes, the audit is going on. Hopefully, before the end of the window period, we'll be making an announcement. If not, I think the next window period will be looking at that. Look, I think I would say I will give the spy. I will be looking for a defender. I will be looking for a midfielder. We'll be strengthening all the departments if ever a quality player is available and is affordable.
Well, there it is. One of the players that he was speaking about, or that's been linked to Kaizer Chiefs, rather, is Usibongiseni Mthethwa, who is 28 years old. He's out at Stellenbosch at the moment. Nadim, I'm gonna actually let me start with Ncube here. What are your thoughts of Kaizer Chiefs? Number one, what they need, what they've done, and they link to this particular player.
Well, I think obviously you build a team from the back. And so the coach speaks about his spine. He speaks about centre back and a centre mid. And you want competition. I think they've signed well. I mean, if you look at Given as well as Ditlokwe, they've done well. But who's their competition at the moment? Is there someone really pushing them for a starting berth?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's close to them. Maybe even just push them to say, hey, I can take you out of the squad. When you look at players who are unhappy around the league, can we see someone floor crossing in Soweto? Olisanda? I mean, what's, the situation there? He hasn't really seen much game time. I think,
I mean, come on, guys.
Does he want out at Pirates?
Olisanda.
Imagine Olisanda moving across the floor. That would be interesting. And definitely Ox. I mean,
And that cannot happen.
I mean, is he happy?
He has to be happy. Why he's playing for Orlando Pirates?
Happy environment.
No. Remember, he was injured last season, and now CBC, for me, is the best centre back in the league. CBC from Orlando Pirates. And also, exactly. And Kogi is also impressive. Mthethwa was also very impressive. I don't know if you've seen that boy from Pirates.
Yeah.
Defensively, Pirates are very strong. They've got the best central defenders in the league. I mean, there's no team that got.
And that's why I say, do they need Inda?
No, they do, but it's not available. Orlando Pirates will never release that. From what I know, they will
Especially not to Chiefs.
Yeah, they can't release him to Chiefs. I mean, exactly. Remember, also, Kaizer Chiefs are in the CAF Champions League. They will need him. I mean, as it goes on, because of his experience. Remember when they lost to the final. With Usibongiseni Mthethwa, honestly speaking, when you've got that guy, you can even play for 4-1-5. Yeah, that's how good he is in the midfield. He can play alone. He can bulldoze the midfield alone. I saw how Pirates. Remember when they played Pirates in the MTN 8? He was so brilliant. They took the lead, and for me, he was the man of the match in that game. Mthethwa, it's one of those players. He's a playmaker, good defensively and offensively. That's what Kaizer Chiefs need. They do need him. If they have to spend, they will be spending.
Because you always speak about the caliber of player. Say not everybody can play for Chiefs. Can I
get into Nadim very straight? Mthethwa akahlala kuStellenbosch.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You won't make it a Chiefs?
I'm looking at Mthethwa, very influential in terms of being aggressive, all-rounder, grounding. But good Chiefs as a midfielder, you need quality. Mangiti quality, a person that can link up, play very well, a receiver of the build-up. It's not just Yabonu Marti, there isn't a struggle like good Chiefs. It's not a mad that was mad who's Kukuni. And now you need a person who's going to play no Castillo. Mthethwa works hard, he works very, very hard. And let me put it clear, he's a good player. But not for Chiefs. There are specific players for Chiefs. And the quality is...
So what about him is un-Chiefs?
For me, I've watched most of his games. Mthethwa influence, okay, yes, I see, but it's not the influence there. Offensively, defensively, yes, it's solid, but offensively, Chiefs need midfielders that can link up the play from the back.
No, from what they have, they need him. They can do with him. I disagree with you strongly. He can improve because they don't have. But who's better than him in that position?
That's what I was going to say.
There's no one who's better than him in Kaizer Chiefs. At the moment now, they need him. You can say maybe he cannot be a title winning signing, but for with what they have, they do need him. He can actually improve Kaizer Chiefs.
When we look at the history of Chiefs, we look at the type of players in that role. There's no player right now who's killing.
Correct.
You have a Katsande. Remember, there was Nengomasha in the past where you had hard midfielders tackling, breaking down play, and then the skillful players can take over.
Yeah.
Now, Chiefs don't have that right now. Mart is not the guy that's going to go through people, whatever the case may be. So that for me, that's why the name Ox says everything. So Ox in the middle there, I honestly, I think he would do okay.
I disagree, Mark, in a sense that there's time to improve. It's not there. Chiefs wants to win trophies. That's number one.
Unless you tell us who's better than him in that position at the moment, they do need him.
Let's look at the caliber of Chiefs.
Yeah.
You can't have a player, and you can correct me, but you can't have a player that comes to Chiefs and needs to improve. It's,
Never.
It's a Man United, it's a Real Madrid, it's a Barcelona. It needs made players,
Yes.
surely.
So is he not he's an international player.
I'm just taking
He's
for
an
what I'm
international-
saying. Is he a made
How is
player?
He's ready. I think he's ready made. What does he still
Yeah,
need
but
to improve on?
no, Nadim just said he still needs to improve. I mean, he just played 2 games for Bafana and Kosafa. So there's a lot of...
No. I said what?
Yeah,
Remember what I said? I said with him,
it's-
you've got a player that Kansas Chiefs can even play 4-1-5.
Yeah, he
That's
says
how
he's a
good-
made player.
Yeah, that's
He
how
says he's
good
ready.
he is.
Upelele. Package
Of
Upelele.
course, he is. Mthetwa he is. Of course, he has to improve. Every player, when you join a big team, you have to improve. I mean, we cannot say if you join a big team, then you have to stay there. Just Saleng has improved at Orlando Pirates. Patrick Masangwa is
No,
improving. You
Saleng
see,
didn't improve
Masangwa
at
is not playing the way he was playing in SuperSport. You see a superstar like signing now at Orlando Pirates. He's improving game by day. You have to improve. You cannot just join a team then it be even Bellingham at Real Madrid signed Dortmund. He has improved. He's improving in the team. You improve with the team.
Usaleng didn't improve at Pirates. He improved at Swallows. He came to
No.
Pirates.
You were at Pirates. Form was better than Swallows. Look at his
Never.
goal that he scored last season. He scored
Yes,
11 goals. How
but-
many goals did he score in
but-
Swallows before?
But he improved from Swallows.
How many goals did he-
Pirates was ready.
Did that Swallows score more goals than Pirates?
Eh?
Did he score more goals at Swallows than Pirates?
Pirates.
No, it's exactly that's improvement. If you
All right.
score, if
We're
you
gonna
score more
cap it
goals
there.
at Pirates,
Just
it means
exactly
he
30.
improved at Pirates.
It's 30 after the R6. We're going to cap it there. But do we have Nadim? We have Nadim speaking about what Chiefs need. So the coach saying now, he mentioned 3 players. Because if you say spine, he spoke about what's his name? Smokesani, and then 2 other players. I want to quote him verbatim here. So I don't want to not quote what the coach has said here. They confirmed that they're profiling Spokenham data and they still need a defender and another midfielder. So it's 3 players that they're saying they need. Nadim, what did you say again? Let's hear it.
Then just need to keep on signing. I think it's gonna. Honestly, think it's not.
signing was quality.
What people are saying, Kaizer Chiefs are not signing players. I said Chiefs need to sign 12 players. This is 7 signing. I know 5 more are coming. They must keep on signing.
So 12 you said they've signed. How many have they signed now?
Actually, they've signed 9 now. So with this one, they can add more 3, then there will be 12.
So because the coach says they need 3 more.
Of course, they listen. That's what I like about Kaizer Chiefs. They are not a big club for nothing. When you speak, they listen and take it into consideration.
Name the 9 that they've signed already.
They've signed Pulemodi. We know he has done well at Kaizer Chiefs. I think they're up at signing Teboho Potsane, Tato Ditloga, the defender, to do. Okay, then there's Msimango from TS Galaxy, Ranga, Mkonza signing Castillo, Gonzalez. and the interesting one is yet to feature Victor Makwanes from the development was promoted.
So then when you hear that, because you speak about quality of players, are those quality players? Is that a quality signing batch?
I can't lie, Andile. I know mhlamba abanye abantu bazohetheka, but not yet. In terms of they still need to establish themselves as a player. And the reason Chiefs is, I've always said to you that when the team starts slower, equality immediately kick off. But when you start slower, it shows good. They still need to understand the culture of the club and how the Chiefs way. But I still believe that they still need to establish themselves and not yet in that level. You could win a trophy. 8 years.
But is there quality? That's the question, the way I understand it.
Remember, I question Potsane, not Chiefs quality.
Okay.
Modi quality. Chiva Viro uzo correlate Kaizer Chiefs. Kona lengwenya le Gonzalez eqeda ukufika. Hey, nice.
And Castillo has done well also.
Yeah, Castillo's done well, but still nice.
So in the 9 players, you think 2 or 3 are fitting for that team?
Andy, let's give them time. Let me just say that. Let's give them time.
Okay, that's fair.
Let's give them time.
The 2 central defenders for
Abantu adapt to different environments. So you
Mark,
don't
you're quiet.
I was just going to say, I think that the signings this season, if you look at last season, what they did, compared to that, I think they've done exceptionally well this season. Already, most of this list, they've contributed. Potsane, you say not quite Chiefs. I think he's really played well. That combination.
Mark, you're disturbing me. That means you don't know Chiefs then.
No. Okay, you're
Can
talking
you
about Chiefs
let
quality.
him finish though?
You're talking about Chiefs quality, but I honestly believe he's come in as part of a system and he's fitted into the system really well. And that for me is important. The fact that he maybe hasn't gotten off the mark like of Modi with his 3 goals already, that remains to be a question, and hopefully he gets off the mark soon. But he's fitted into the system really well, and I think in that regard they've bought well and they've done well because most of these players are playing. That's the important thing. When you sign someone, you're not signing them to fill the bench. They must come in and contribute, and I think a lot of them have already done that, and that's for me the mark of good signings in that season.
But a lot will be said in the 10 game cycle, so that's why I'm saying to Andile, let's give them time.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Linda Lamoya is part of the Opta guys. Opta Jabu on Twitter. Do follow them. It's OPTA Jabu, Jabu. Opta Jabu is here with the stats that will help us decide this weekend's games. The guys have chosen the games that they want to preview. We'll go into those and, of course, take your calls at 18:45. That's about just over 10 minutes from now on 086 0002160. You can start sending in your WhatsApp on any of the conversations that we've had on 060 552 7303. It's 18:37 on the Mighty Metro FM, proudly brought to you by SABC Sport. This is Sports Night Amplified with Andile. Let's see. There was one here that I wanted to see, man. Mkonza, there was a tweet here just for you. Can't find it now. I can't find it now. But let's go. Before you guys tell us your matches of the weekend and your thoughts on it, Lindela Moya's on the line. He's part of the Opta Jabu guys. They give us our stats. I mean, I use them whenever I need to double check my facts and stats. I use them on the air as well whenever we're doing games. Lindela, always great to have you. Welcome.
Thank you, Andile. Good evening to you and the listeners and everyone in studio as well.
Hey, listen, Sundowns were playing a little bit earlier today. They won that game 4-0. Shalulile scored. What does that goal mean?
Yes, Shalulile scored. He came on as a substitute. It was his 105th goal, 105, for a PSL top flight club, making him the highest ever foreign goal scorer in PSL history.
Do you know how many games he did this in?
I'm going to estimate about 210 games.
In how many seasons?
In 6 seasons.
Is that quicker? When you look at that compared to a Tiko Bukwane who had held the record before, is it much quicker?
Yes, it is the fastest ever in PSL history as well.
Wow, Bukonza.
I think for Minusha Lile, I've seen him train on his own. Outcome umbona ngamanga maneti lawa Andile, and for me he's still gonna score more goals. He works very, very hard.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna break that record by far. It's 105 goals that he scored. He's the highest foreigner to ever net for top PSL times. I mean he takes a Tiko Bukwane's record. There's still Mbesuma that's still within that record as well. I think he's within the top 5 there. Okay, well, congratulations to Shasha. Sundowns winning 4-0 a little bit earlier today as they were playing their matches, of course, in the continental competition, beating Bumaruma FC. Hey, who's the Opta?
Opta is
Burundi.
Burundi.
Yeah, it's a Burundi team. Let's move on to the next one. Richards Bay. They also might be equaling a record, but one that they might not want to equal.
Yes, this is an unwanted record. So Richards Bay are now on 19 games without a win.
19 games without a win.
19 games, 1-9.
So if they don't win this weekend and they tie that 20, what does that mean? Who are they equaling? What does that look like for record's sake?
So for them, they are now in the top 5, the longest ever winless runs in PSL history. If they don't win this weekend, it takes them up to 20, then become number 4 and join Tembisa Classic, who went 20 games without a win in 2002.
Who holds the record for the most winless games?
The record is obviously held by Mother City from the year 99-2000. They went 23 games without a win towards the end of the 99-2000 season.
Wow.
And they were relegated, right?
Yes, they were relegated and never heard from again. They were basically the worst team ever to grace our show.
Let's move on. This one here speaks volumes about what we've been talking about now with Kaizer Chiefs. When you look at Kaizer Chiefs last season, and I mean, yes, it's only been a handful of games, but Kaizer Chiefs this season, what does the stats look like as far as shots per game?
Yes, so with Kaizer Chiefs, Andile, we try to go beyond the result and beyond win or loss. We looked at the shot numbers this time, and that Kaizer Chiefs averaged 9 shots a game this season, which is the second lowest in the entire division. 9 shots a game.
So Kaizer Chiefs, 9 shots a game this season, which is the second lowest lowest being Royal AM. They are hitting 9 a game. And this is an average per game, because if you really were to go per game, we've seen them where they finish halves with nothing, where they finish games with 1 shot, 2 shots. So we've seen something like that. What are they doing last season per game?
Yeah, so that's where it becomes interesting, because this season Chiefs were actually first in the league when it comes to shots per game, taking 14 shots in every game on average last season.
See, there it is. So last season, under Athazwani, Chiefs led the PSL, taking 14 shots a game. They're on 9 at the moment per game.
A combo Andile.
And others one is still there, so there's a new edition of a new coach. So what does it mean?
Opta, we really appreciate your time. These are amazing. I'm pretty sure these are going to be spoken about the entire weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andile. All the best to everyone.
That is Opta Jabu there giving us that. Mark, last season under Athaswane, I mean, it's an average, so you got to put number of games in mind as well.
As much as I love stats, I'm not. I sometimes feel we read too much into them, and we know the famous saying by Coach Steve.
Yeah.
About the bikini. It reveals a lot, but it doesn't quite reveal everything. Because if you look at where they are right now...
I thought you were a pastor. That's a strange example from me.
No, we know the saying. We know...
it's an English saying.
Steve has made that famous.
Not from
but the thing is, it's... Honestly, I mean, if you look at where they are right now, obviously this next game coming up this weekend is going to be very telling. Because I think since the beginning of the season, they've gotten better. Gradually, they've gotten better, and they can still get better. There's still a lot of room for improvement, but they have looked and played some good football. Whether it's defensive football, however you want to view it, for me, it's still good football. And so I think
Chiefs are playing good football.
I think that when you talk about football, we're not just talking about tika-taka. We're talking football holistically.
So it might not be attractive football to people that want to see attacking football.
Defending is part of football, and so whether they're playing a low block and countering, they're doing it really well. And so
this Kaizer Chiefs team,
yes.
What are you saying?
The one that played TS Galaxy.
Now you're talking about.
I mean, even
what's their last three results? What's their last three results?
Moken Mamila thought it was Jose Mourinho after throwing with Kaizer Chiefs in Durban.
Now you see, that's the mistake. People do we want to see Chiefs win games or play good football right now? Right?
Both.
But
yes.
guys, we're being unfair.
How?
Because you have to consider where they are right now.
They've only won 2 matches. If they've won,
you're correct, Mark.
If they've won every game, then I'll understand. They've only won 2 matches this season, right?
And you mean in the league?
No, this season, all competition, they've only won 2 matches.
3.
Okay, and the Amazulu and Stellenbosch, which is the third one.
They beat Amazulu, they beat Stellenbosch, and then in the cup,
Cape Town.
They beat Cape Town City?
Oh, that Cape Town 2-1. Okay, yeah.
They beat Cape Town City, yes.
But in all those matches, they were dominated and they were not playing well.
But they won those games.
But they were not playing well. You can't say they were in control.
Unfortunately,
it's one of those matches that could have gone either side.
So
right,
we're
going to stop it there. Thank you so much, boys. We're going to rock it at that. Unfortunately, there is no more time for that. Let me go with you, Mkonza. Mkonza, what's your game of the weekend? Immediately after this, we're taking your calls at 086-000-2160. Many different ideas have been shared. What are your thoughts, Mkonza?
Swallows Richards Bay, happy for Steve Kompela, position 6, collected 6 points in the last 2 matches. Andile, I think ukompela khoninteze emnandazana lapha. But Richards Bay sesikhulumile 19 matches bangawini ba position 15 ekuzoba nzima this season. They still yet to register a win ebasejivini.
So you think Steve sweeps this one?
Oh, Steve ukagogo lapho hamba kuphela.
Yo, that's Richards Bay versus Swallows. That game is tonight at 7:30. So we can check the scores for that, and you'll let me know. Was Mkonza onto something? Nadim, which one is your game?
Yeah, mine is Kaizer Chiefs and Royal AM. They're both on 7 points. Both won their last 2 matches. They started very badly, but now I don't know. Mark Haskins say Kaizer Chiefs are improving. I'm not sure. Royal AM, they did well against Chippa United, where they scored 3 goals against Chippa United and Nelson Mandela Bay. They also beat TS Galaxy. It's one of those matches where you feel Kaizer Chiefs, they will need to win it in order to please their fans. Otherwise, Molefe will be really in trouble. But it's one of those matches I see it's ending in a draw.
5:30 tomorrow. Royal AM versus Kaizer Chiefs. Mark?
I've got Golden Arrows versus Stellenbosch. I think that's going to be a really, really tough game. Obviously, we know Golden Arrows being some, coaching changes. Mabuti now is on his own. Obviously, he's got Musa Bilankulu next to him still to assist. But it's going to be interesting to see how they come out. They've had a long break now to try and steer the ship in the way they want to go. Mabuti on his own, I guess, as the sole head coach. But, Stellenbosch are probably one of the hardest teams in the league to beat. Steve Barkas always sets up beautifully. So I think that's going to be a really, really feisty encounter because Steve, they're in 11. Golden Arrows are second on the log. I mean, they on 2 points per game. 5 games played, 10 points. Normally when you start the season, that's your target. 2 points per game generally wins you the league.
Yes.
Except when Sundowns are as dominant as they are. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great one. But I probably see a draw there as well because both teams coming out of the break, I think would have done a lot of work and they'll probably nullify each other.
So Maputi's going to do the post and pre-match interviews?
No, Mnandi.
Because he hasn't been doing them.
All right, let's take your voice notes and then straight to your calls.
Call us on 0860 00 2160.
Evening, Miss Andile. Yes, Bertrand Dusange from Divan. Firstly, just to wish all the South African teams on a African Safari, Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, Cocoon, and Super Sport. Wish them all the best. Wish that they can bring good results, and they must stamp the authority that we are one of the best here in Africa. Football, yeah. And coming back to Kaizer Chiefs, I think let's give Coach Mlefinsek some time, and I think they must bet for Serena. I think, yeah, he's there for the taking, and I think he can fit well into Kaizer Chiefs. Wish them all the best. Big up, Joshua.
Andile, good evening. It's a lot from Tembisa.
Hey, Tawala Silo.
Unalim Shimani mo Sundowns. Rivero.
Scored 2 goals today.
This guy.
2 goals today.
I wish Nkabeli na kotela tsa khale tsa boendro Rabut la Cosmos so that Horaska batenga second leg. Okarotla ka mathata mfano.
But for second league.
Good show, and I'm loving your show. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Mo studio. Hola leo team Mapotris wa tswara ke mang. Regarding Sereno go Chiefs, aka fita plus we need ball players mfito. Kona je ke ntwena li.
You play with who?
The Mitterman ke Mtanzania li one. So I think mabanga edu Sereno ngaba ngcono nyana at least no Dolu yabuya. I Chiefs nga perform. I think equality Chiefs u Sereno. Akazi Chiefs man ayiyeke le Sundowns. Uyabona ukuthi uRulana kamfuni. Yabona? Sure. Otherwise great show guys.
I think Rulana really does want him.
Andile mina ngiyala umkhonza ngiyala ungathatha uMatlo umenze noSithebe bahlangene beyi2 angeke wamcompare noSiyabo Sibongiseni Imthetho izinto ezi2 ezingacompareki lezo rather laba bayi2 baye ku Stellenbosch lo anga
Malcolm, what happened? But you put a little data. Last one, Malcolm. Last one. We need to take the calls.
Nicholas in Cape Town.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, my man. I've been reading the story of Sereno at Sundowns. It is for the best that players must be allowed to leave if they feel like, you know. I do feel like Sundowns should just let go of Sereno very happily, and no negative stance that must be pulled against the player, you know. Just let him go freely, happily, so that wherever he goes, he can also, you know, feel at home. Then he can keep, he can keep the performance that he has got within the next future, you know.
I appreciate you. Peanut said something actually at Siaurap1 on Twitter. Sundowns is not a selling club. All those players that Nadim named forced their way out. Dolly had to stop playing, and his father had to intervene. Let's go to Houghton. Jonathan is there, wants to speak about Sundowns. Jonathan. Oh, Jonathan, terribly sorry about that one there. And Bangeni, speaking about Chiefs, is Sponiso. Okay, Carltonville. Edward, you lucky number 3. Edward? Is it one of those days, team? Okay, let's go to Lisibe. Lisibe is the regular. He'll be there for sure. Lisibe.
Hey, good evening, and good evening to Majita Studio. Let me, as a self-promo proclaimed chairman of the show, let me welcome the
Thank you, Chairman.
You want to speak about Mteto?
Yeah, no, you know what? I must just organize a tea session with Nadim. I agree with him 100%. You know, Chiefs need Ox. Ox, if you look at his game, especially against Pirates, he bossed that midfield. I'm also surprised why he was not named man of the match. We need him, or if we don't need sign him, there's another player in Cape Town City, even though they are not selling to Chiefs, called Ambea, Bryce Ambea. Thank you.
Okay, Lisibe, I hear you. Thank you very much. Out in Leni. Sabelo Majosi is in Anderberg.
Andile.
Sabza.
No.
Svugile Janan.
Good evening to our guest as well, Nadim no Nabo Abakon. So I need to agree with Nadim. Most of the time we don't agree with him. He knows he knows me. He knows me very well, yeah. So but yeah, when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs, Tina, we grew up watching Kaizer Chiefs, yeah.
19
Yes, I'm not a fan of the Kaizer Chiefs. I'm a big Orlando Pirates fan. But we grew up watching Kaizer Chiefs. So Kaizer Chiefs is not anywhere we level back then, yeah.
Okay.
But if I so wish ukuthi Kaizer Chiefs imthole uSerino, and also namarumas lawakhona ukuthi bamdinga who's this guy umthethwa Ox, yeah. If bengamthola, because we need it's not about ukuthi mina ngisupporti Orlando Pirates, but it's about ukuthi football ibuyele kulela zinga lele eyayikulona before, yabo.
So ngalabadlali sobuyela kulela zinga.
Yeah, and with the coach.
But with the coach, I'm having a problem with the coach. I'm glad about the philosophy of coach. No,
I philosophy.
So I think they need umuntu oponda iculture Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs was playing a brilliant football.
Bonkosi.
Usabelo
Cubeka usupport ibhakaniya njalo.
Ayikho le yakhe.
Njengawe Mkhonza.
Cubeka usupport ibhakaniya njalo.
We've got to go. Sabelo's out in Nandenberg. Let's move on to Soweto now. Bonkosi wants to speak about Serino. Bonkosi.
Good evening, James lapha ekrani.
Njaya simnandi kakhulu.
Mnandi. Unadimi lucky day yakhe namhlanje.
Yeah.
Yeah, nami ngiyamvuma na. No, you know what the problem? Sunday doesn't have a problem of selling players. You know, if you look at Melula did very well in the absence of Travelila last season. But you see how they relate. Sunday was just waiting for
exactly. Melula was released. As long as there's a proper offer.
That's it. So when people say Sunday doesn't release players easily, I don't understand why. Because you can't buy a seat with 5 bob and then you sell it at 1 cent. Football is a business.
Yeah.
Do you want him? You want him at Chiefs, obviously.
One of Sundowns is a billionaire, guys. You can't just.
Yeah, but it's a business. Bonkosi out in Soweto. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Just
you can't just
to quantify the selling club thing. It's when we say selling club, they're clubs that need to sell to survive.
Yes,
profit. That's what we mean by selling club.
Don't move from your point.
No.
If you want, you said if you want to move, don't join Sundowns. Sundowns don't release players.
I need to take the calls. It's not your time. You've had your time. Let's go to Edward.
Is a good example.
Edward, switch the mics off. Let's go to Edward. Edward is out in Carltonville. Wants to speak about Chiefs and Turkey. Edward.
Hi,
Hey, teta, smamel.
You see, guys. First of all, let me greet the guys in the studio. Guys, you know, Ntoyaguti, you don't want to say it as it is. And ngimangalele umkhonza namhlanje ngimazi ngumuntu okhuluma izinto straight, but today he's duck and diving, and I understand why.
Why? Tell me, because I want to know.
Ring out,
Umfeki is not a right coach for Chiefs. Umfeki is like somebody who has a step ladder that can just help him to jump the wall, and he gets 20 of them and he puts them on top of each other.
But
and
Edward,
never jump that wall.
Edward, let me throw something that Mark said at you now. Mark, Ute, Chiefs are playing really good football right now. It might be that you think it's negative football because they're defending, but in that defending, it's a team that is well coached to defend, to the way they organized, the way that they structured, and the way that they do and play the ball out when they do get the opportunity, and that's how they scored against Sundowns. What do you think of that?
You see, Mark angazi ukuthi ayazi Chiefs now. To be honest, guys, and I've got nothing against Mark, but I don't know if Mark has a history of Kaizer Chiefs that we know.
I mean, he played against them for years.
What's the history of Swallows?
Guys, let me take you back. Guys, let me take you back to the Milwaukee's, the Molatedis, when Philip Trosia was there with the school, that crash.
Sheikh Skuman, Dr. Kumal.
Dr. Kumal Obafetu.
Mkhonza.
Mkhonza Obafetu. He crashed and he did well. Now, you've got Umteki. And I don't know ukuthi Umteki Bafetu yini aye wayiproducer eChiefs bamqasha or uyahlamba ngomuthi. Because to be honest with you, he's got a material.
So the players at Chiefs are good enough.
Guys, Kaizer Chiefs is Kaizer Chiefs with history. Asifuna abantu footballer at Kaizer Chiefs.
Edward,
We need quality.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Okay, they've signed 9 players so far. They are better than last season. According to Optachabo States, they didn't improve from last season. Even in
Not
short
yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they need a coach to improve them from last season.
Abuyile Bavuma out in Gqeberha. Oh, Abuyile, I really wanted to hear what you've got to say, but let's go to Jonathan. Jonathan is out in Houghton. We finally got him back. Jonathan.
Hi, Andile.
Hey, you're the last one today. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm the first-time caller.
Oh, welcome to it. Hold on for it. Here it is. Don't make it your last. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Don't make it your last, man. Jonathan, what's your point?
I'd like to congratulate you for winning this game today.
Oh, yeah, 4-0. Good score.
Yes. As for what Nkonza has said, I think I agree with him. Sereno can't fit with the type of style of Chiefs that they are playing now. Because they are playing low block football. So Sereno will be good with Sundowns or Pirates, not Chiefs, unless if they improve the way they play.
Jonathan, out in Houghton, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you at all. Mark, what's your last one on this?
Now, again, I think this weekend is going to be telling. I think progress takes time, and I think the Chiefs, Kaizer Chiefs specifically, need progress, and I think so far they have.
Mkonza, are we fine?
Hey, Cape Town City, man, Andile. I'm a bit surprised. Tinkler, I thought he's one of the best coaches for 4 matches winless. Cape Town City, but hopefully this weekend it will change a lot of dynamics when it comes to club football.
Nadim?
Yeah, I know. Kaizer Chiefs, they really need to beat Royal M because they didn't sign any players. If Kaizer Chiefs struggle to beat Royal M at FNP system, it will tell us a lot that actually they are not improving from last season at all, as Mike Lewis saying. I mean, Mark Haskins.
Lewis now. We don't have a player of the week. We don't have, of course, a team that, is... What is it? What do you call it? What is it?
But the Springbok are playing, right? Malcolm Marx is out, so...
Yeah, Springboks this Sunday. Catch me on that.
So do you think they'll still win the World Cup without Malcolm Marx?
No, I mean, don't worry. These Springboks, they've got the deepest replacement bench theirs.
That one is a game changer.
So there they are. Eben will come back. They'll be two. Let's play a little bit of a getaway before we hand over to the guys.
Visit betway.co.za and never miss out on the non-stop action. Get way more with Betway. Visit betway.co.za to bet on every unforgettable sporting moment. Get way more with Betway.
I gotta get out of here. Thanks for being a part of the show. A good debut by Mark. We'll do it again next week, Friday. Hey, at some point, we'll be bringing this show to a place near you. So we'll have you interact with us live. From all of us here in the studio, Nadim, Mkonza, Mark and myself, Chini, and the team,